After writing 2 transformational books myself and supporting many other beings to do the same, I've become enthralled by the deep and mysterious magic that's activated when we choose to say yes to ourselves and commit to the book writing journey. Of course, we want to inspire change and new perspectives in our readers, but the transformation that happens as an author, both throughout the writing process and by actually releasing your book into the world, is surprisingly potent. I know I've been blindsided in the most disruptive and delicious ways by some of the changes my books have brought into my life. Writing a book is like casting a spell. Although we can never be completely sure what's going to be unleashed during the process, we choose to do it anyway. This Unbound one is a heroic journey. Each book has the potential to be a magical portal, a doorway to a new world, both for you and your reader. Each book has a very specific medicine that it's here to share with us. And each book gives us the opportunity to alchemize the magnificent imperfection of our experience into gold. The truth is that anyone can write a book. We could all get a few thousand words down and put them together. But what fascinates me is what happens when we allow the book writing process to go deeper. When we say, fuck it, get naked and dive way down beneath the surface. Letting go of the shoulds and any need to be acceptable, sensible, or approved of. What fascinates me is what happens when we make ourselves fully available to being transformed by the very act of writing a book. This is Unbound Writing, and this is the process we'll be exploring together here in the Unbound Writers Club. I'm Nicola Humber, author and founder of the Unbound Press, and I help magical beings to write the transformational book they're really here to write at this time. I'm your guide here in the Unbound Writers Club, and the aim of this podcast is to help you to feel supported, encouraged, activated as you embark on your book writing journey. Whether you're a first-time author or have many books out in the world, my hope is that you will find something here to inspire you. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to this very, very special episode of the Unbound Writers Club. Because today, as this episode makes its way into the world, November the 22nd, 2023, we are celebrating the 5th birthday of the Unbound Press, this soul-led publishing company, publishing community for magical women writing literally world-changing books, is 5 years old today. And to celebrate, we've been asking our authors, our wonderful members of the Unbound Press family, to share the biggest transformation they've experienced over the past 5 years, what they find most powerful about being part of this community, and what their hopes are for the next 5 years. So I kind of want to just dive into that because honestly, you're just going to be so inspired, activated, lit up by hearing these women speak, what they've experienced, what they are experiencing, what they are creating. It blows my mind, and I wasn't sure if I'd be able to record this without crying. There are tears very close behind my eyes right now because I'm so freaking grateful to every single woman, every single author who is part of the Unbound Press family, every single team member, everyone who reads our books, everyone who listens to this. I feel like I'm doing an Oscars acceptance speech. But for every woman who said yes and stepped into this community and trusted us to birth their book, thank you so much. You just blow my mind with your magic, and I love you. So I'm going to answer the questions what is the biggest transformation I've experienced over the past 5 years? 5 years ago, back in November 2018, my second book, Unbound, had fairly recently been released into the world. It came out in the summer of 2018. And it was through that writing process that I really started to uncover the work that I was here to do in the world. And that became even clearer when, as the book was being released, my publisher planted that first seed of the Unbound Press and me holding space for other women to write their books. Back in November 2018, we were about to launch the Unbound Press. We did it through the very first Unbound Writing Challenge. And I had no idea what to expect. I just trusted that I felt called to do this. So the biggest transformation I've experienced over the past 5 years is really stepping into what I'm here to do, who I'm here to be, because the Unbound Press has really led the way for me. And each of the women, each of the magical beings who has come into the world of the Unbound Press, whether it is an author, a team member, anyone I've connected with around what we're doing at the Unbound Press, everyone's brought their own piece of the puzzle. Kind of feel like listening to the authors share in this episode, it helps me to see parts of myself and what I'm here to do that I hadn't even realized. I don't think I'd fully acknowledged. So this is what happens, isn't it? When we come together in community, and that's, we get to uncover parts of us that we didn't even know existed when we're in connection with other people. And that's been the biggest piece for me over the past 5 years. I literally unrecognizable. Well, no, I am recognizable from who I was 5 years ago, but I feel so different. I feel so different in my bones, in my being, because of being part of this very special community, which continues to grow and evolve. So, that's what I'm grateful for as well. I can't believe this is the work that I get to do, and it gets to evolve and shift now as we celebrate this 5th anniversary. Very recently, I made the decision to retire one of our signature offerings, which is the Unbound Writing Mastermind. It's a group that I've held space for the past 5 years. And that nudge to let it go had been there for a while. I resisted it so much because it's such a special space. And I know each of the members who have been part of it, who are part of it, it's a really special space to them too. So it doesn't feel like it is just mine at all. And, I kept pushing it away, but that calling was there to let it go. Something new wanted to come through, and something new is coming now. There are new community spaces that we're launching. I'm not going to go into them right now. There will be other episodes for that. But yeah, you'll get to hear about them. You will get to hear about them. A couple of new memberships and a new program as well. So that's what I'm really excited about over the next 5 years, for this community to grow. Yolandi, who is one of the last authors to share during this episode, that's part of her hope as well. And really, I see this gorgeous web of authors, of women writers, of courageous, creative hearts, just, expanding, popping up all over the globe, really bringing through the new ways, which are often like the ancient ways that are so very needed at this time. That's my dearest hope for the next 5 years, and that we get to continue doing this together in community, in collaboration, co-creation, laughing, crying, dancing, being our weird and wonderful selves. I'm so here for it. And now I'm gonna shut up and let you hear from the rest of our authors. Thank you so much for being part of the Unbound Press community. Sending you lots of love.
Hi everyone, this is Abby Shaw and I wrote No Matter Where. So my biggest transformation in the last 5 years is seeing my book go from a few random words on my laptop, which I started in 2018, into a printed final book that people can buy. It's quite remarkable and it makes me incredibly proud. The most powerful thing about being part of the Unbound Press community is there is for sure an energetic vibration of girl power. It's not shouty. but it's very consistent and powerful, and stuff gets done. And my hope for the next 5 years is that my book is made into a movie. So I'm putting all my energy into finding a scriptwriter, producer, and right now I can picture the actress Phoebe Waller-Bridge playing me. That would just be so cool.
Hello, my name is Alison Shalhoub. I am the author of Baby Talk to Me, Spirit Baby Messages for the Journey to Motherhood. And the biggest transformation for me in the past 5 years is realizing that I was a spiritual being in a physical body. I had no idea about spirituality 5 years ago. I've had this massive fast track awakening, and I'm much more on the spiritual journey now, so much that I wrote a book about it. And what's been most powerful thing about being in the Unbound Press is that space that's being held as you move through writing the book. The thing I loved was the fact there was no judgment. For me, it was huge. I was a midwife. I'd never really meddled in spirituality. And here I was suddenly writing a book about it, about spirit babies. And I just liked that space where nobody was judging me. Everything goes, and there was no judgment. And the things that I would like for the next 5 years, my hope is that I will have my book on Audible, that I will have it written in at least one other language, which I'm working on, and that I will be speaking and teaching others about all that I have learned in the last few years and helping people to learn to do what I do.
Hello, I'm Anna Bromley, and I've recently published my book, A Wild Adventure on the Big Sea, My Journey of Natural Healing for Cancer, with the Unbound Press. I also work as an editor with them, and I've had the privilege of working with several of the Unbound authors to edit their work. So what's been the biggest transformation I've experienced over the past 5 years? Well, it has to be healing from cancer using all natural methods, and then chronicling that in my book. Publishing my book through the Unbound Press has helped me find my authentic voice and to get my message out of natural healing out into the world, something I've shied away from in the past, mainly because I've got a lot of ancestral and past life wounding around speaking out about things that are different from the mainstream narrative. So it's been a real case of feel the fear and do it anyway. And in that facing of my fears, deep healing has really taken place. And I think the most powerful thing about being part of the Unbound Press community has been the support I've received in getting my voice heard in the world. All the technical things that I've struggled with just dissolved as the amazing Unbound team helped me to finish and publish my book and get the word out about it. And being part of the community of other women all doing the same thing is so comforting. I mean, really, I really get it that I'm not just a lone weirdo and that there's plenty of other of you out there that have similar views, similar ways of being to me. So my hope for the next 5 years, of course, it's to write another book and publish it, to help women heal and to share my wisdom about all that I've learnt on my healing journey. And in tandem with that, I'd love for my teaching practice to blossom so that I can help as many women as possible to step into their most empowered and sovereign selves. So I'm sending you all love and blessings on your healing journey and your soul's journey. Lots of love. Bye.
Hi there, my name's Anna Sansom and I'm the author of Desire Lines, published by the Unbound Press in 2019. I joined the Unbound Press Mastermind writing group in 2018, so I feel really privileged that I've been able to share in these last 5 years with Nicola and the Unbound Press. And I'd say that the biggest transformation I've experienced over that time is really an increase in my confidence. So I've always written, and I've tended in the past to respond to other people's call-outs for submissions for stories and anthologies and all that kind of thing. And I think the thing that I really gained from the Unbound Press was just that knowing that it's okay to initiate, having an idea of something that I really want and going for it. That's been so powerful for me, not having to wait for permission from anyone else, but just doing it for myself. So that's been phenomenal. In terms of the most powerful thing about being part of the Unbound Press community, I have to say I owe so much to Nicola Humba. When I wrote my book, Desire Lines, it's kind of an edgy book. And one of the things that I've always really appreciated was the unflinching support that Nicola's given me, both through the writing of the book, editing it and bringing it out into the world, but then also kind of continuing to nurture it and champion it in the world. So that has been phenomenal for me. Also because, it is can be a vulnerable topic. I write about desire, love and lust. And so to have somebody giving me that support has been incredible. And also being able to be part of the writing mastermind group was just wonderful for me. A small group of people who were so supportive and several of whom I'm still in contact with today. My hope for the next 5 years, well, Desire Lines was very much based on the first 45 years of my life. And I very much hope that it's not going to be another 45 years before my next book comes out. And in fact, I do have another book in the making. This time, sort of on that theme of initiating the book that I want to see in the world. I'm actually working on a collaborative anthology. So I've invited 15 other writers to join me, writing a book and contributing personal essays, which is all about intimacy and eroticism through times of change. And I am so super excited about this book. I can't wait to bring it together. So yeah, I've just had a wonderful time with the Unbound Press, and I'm so excited that it's celebrating 5 years, a 5-year anniversary, and I wish Nicola and all the authors all the love and success and happiness in the world as all of these books come to fruition. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. This is Caroline Britton here, author of Coming Home to You. So, one of the biggest transformations that I've experienced over the past 5 years has been, it's been in so many areas of my life, but I think one of the biggest things has been my connection to my truest self and my connection to a higher power. And having gone from a corporate environment very much run by the ego and masculine, I've been amazed at the transition into being much more in my feminine, letting the power of energetics govern where I go in my life and my business, and then what that has brought in terms of like external magic. So manifesting my dream house, creating over 7 figures in my business, a trip to Necker Island, amazing clients, helping thousands of people across the world. It's just been magic. So the next thing is, what's the most powerful thing about being part of the Unbound Press community? I think for me, when I was writing my book, Coming Home to You, it was having a team around me that was part of a greater vision, that was believing in what it was that I wanted to put out there and letting me do it in my Caroline way, letting it just flow through me and letting myself be in charge of that creative process. That was so powerful. I really felt like I could truly write my book how I wanted to. And then lastly, what's my hope for the next 5 years? So the next 5 years for me is about creating huge ripples with the work that I do in the world and being a force for good and change. I am looking forward to working with even more CEOs, even more change makers, even more people in the public eye, people who are incredibly famous and have a platform in order to be able to share their goodness and their soul. I also hope to write another book, which I feel is going to be very different in nature, but that's definitely coming through me, and to feel more turned on by life, more free, more safe, more secure, more joyful than I ever have in my life. That's what I am calling in.
Hi, I'm Karen Roundtree and I am author of The Divine Feminist. Before I go any further, let me say happy birthday, Unbound Press, and congratulations, Nicola. 5 years is such a huge achievement, and the impact that you and Unbound have had, are having, and I know will continue to have for the next 5 years and beyond, are incredible. I'm so proud to be a part of this family. For me, the biggest transformation I've experienced over the past 5 years has probably been coming home to myself, shaking off the ideas of who I should be, what I thought I had to do, and actually just remembering who I am, who I've always been underneath it all. This year, my quote of the year has been a line from the theme song of Glennon Doyle's podcast, which is, I stopped asking directions to places they've never been. And I feel like that sums up my biggest transformation, stopping looking outside of myself and instead coming home to who and what I really am, and trusting myself to know the way from that place. The most powerful thing I've found about being part of the Unbound Press community has been simply being held for all that I am. No matter how wild, how messy, how big, how small I might feel on any given day and in any given project and at any given point of life, this is a community that accepts, it supports, it honours and it holds us all for exactly who and what we are. And I could not be more grateful for this space and for the incredible people that I share this community with. It really does feel like an honour every single day. My hopes for the next 5 years they're plentiful, so much so I don't really know where to start, to be honest. Personally, there is a lot that I'm working to bring into being around living a life that feels even more aligned with that me that I feel like I've rediscovered. Professionally, I absolutely want it to mean more books. I'm very determinedly working on my first novel, and I am determined to be able to call myself a novelist multiple times over 5 years from now. Collectively, my hope is that we can all come into a place of real inner integration and flowing balance. I really hope that we can all come to honour this beautiful trans-species ecosystem that we're so fortunate to be a part of. And I think that our unbinding, individually and collectively, has a huge part to play in that.
Hi, my name's Em Mulholland, and I'm the Operations and Author Relations Magician at the Unbound Press. So the biggest transformation I've experienced over the past 5 years is, I had a 2-year-old 5 years ago, and I was just coming out the other side of postnatal depression and realising that I really needed to leave my former career as a practicing solicitor. I was really miserable. I didn't know whether I was coming or going, and I just knew that something had to change. So over the last 5 years, I have found my way to the Unbound Press, firstly as a freelance editor, and then as my current role now, which I've been in for pretty much exactly 2 years. And yeah, it's been transformative. I've also stepped onto my shamanic path as a shamanic practitioner, and I'm continuing my training with that. And I turned 40 this year, and it just feels like the start of another powerful few years. So the most powerful thing about being part of the Unbound Press community for me is that I'm just surrounded by amazing, inspirational authors, and it really has proven to me that I want to write a transformative book myself. I have a couple that are bubbling and are nudging me to get started. So that's about to kick off. And my hope for the next 5 years is that I remain part of this incredible community, that I publish at least one of these books that's bubbling, and that I continue to shapeshift and grow. So yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you all.
Hello, this is Holly Copeland, and my book is called Inner Rewilding. And my biggest transformation over the past 5 years has been to come to realize that everything that I see in the world that feels wrong and messed up and difficult, the best thing that I can possibly do for that is to transform myself, that it's a process of reclaiming the undomesticated, wild, loving being that I am. And that when I do that, and step into that and align my entire life with that, then I have all the energy, the love, the beauty, the power to support the world that I think needs all of us to step into that place. And the most powerful part about my journey with Unbound Press is the opportunity to tell that story, to tell of how I made that shift from what I call kind of outer wilding of trying to, as an ecologist, try to fix everything that I thought was wrong with the world, into my own inner spiritual deep journey to heal myself, to come back to my own wholeness, my own wild beingness. And what I'm most excited about in the next 5 years is sharing that message with the world in my own way, and to inspire others to go on this journey that for each of us is meant to be unabashedly, wildly free, joyful, awake. Doesn't mean sad things don't arise, but it's our birthright to live from joy, live in an aligned, happy, good place. And then I'm terribly excited to share that message with the world through my book. And I'm deeply grateful to the Unbound Press for providing all the support to make that happen. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Unbound Press. Thank you, Nicola and Jesse and the team.
Hi, this is Jo Gifford. I'm part of the Unbound Press team. I'm the person that you'll meet if you do a Heartstorm to work on your marketing. And I'm also part of the team behind the podcast and social media. So I wrote Brilliance Unboxed, which was published with the Unbound Press in 2020, and World Currents, which came out in 2022. So the biggest transformation that I've experienced over the last 5 years is that I've published 2 books, and I've gone through the process surrounded by the Unbound family of birthing 2 pieces of work into the world that are very personal to me. And what is really powerful about being part of this gorgeous community is that you are held, whether you're writing, whether you're publishing, whether you're in a phase of just exploring ideas. It has allowed me to really step into a different way of allowing words, art, creativity, soul purpose language to unfold, and to trust that the words that come through me are needed. And my hope for the next 5 years is to build on this beautiful foundation and to allow space for more projects to come through in the way that they do in the Unbound world, that you see where you feel a seed and you allow it to flourish and explore it. And I have some more bubbling away right now. So my hope is to carry on and to continue contributing my voice to the world in an unbound way. Thank you so much for having me as part of it.
Hi, so it's Mariah Amahope, and my book is Labyrinth, My Journey to Belonging. So in answer to the questions, question number 1, what's been the biggest transformation I've experienced? Knowing that I'm enough and learning to feel safe and happy, showing up as my most authentic self. Writing and publishing my story played a pivotal role in this transformation. And it really felt like publishing my book, once I'd done that, it felt like I'd integrated all of the disparate parts of me into one whole, and I felt so at peace. I've never experienced so much peace and contentment and settlement than I had at that point. And the magic continues. This year, I met and fell in love with a wonderfully loving, funny, creative, soul-led man. And we now are living together in Cornwall. And that was a total surprise, totally unexpected. And that continues to unfold beautifully. Question number 2, what's the most powerful thing about being part of the Unbound Press community? For me, by far, I think it's the community itself. It's all the women who make up the Unbound Press, those that we see regularly and those we don't, and Nicola, who holds the space for all of that to happen. I think in the community, in the group calls, there's always a chance for laughter and for tears and for inspiring each other, for witnessing each other, which is really powerful. And the regular calls ensure that we have structure and sacred discipline if we choose and want that, and if we choose and want to show up each week. And my hope for next year for the Unbound Press is quite a simple one, really, but it's that the Unbound Press continues to open to its most magical and abundant potential for everyone involved, whatever that looks like.
Hello there, my name is Natalie Farrell, and I published Light the Way with the Unbound Press in September 2022. The biggest transformation in the past 5 years for me has been awakening to the fact that I am a singer and that I am here to use my voice to raise the consciousness through communication in whichever form that shows up, whether it be an interview, sharing something like this, to writing, to expressing through lyrics. And that has been the biggest transformation, coming back to song, coming back to communication in this way. And I have to thank the Unbound community for this transformation. And being part of the community for me was, and still is, juicy. This word came out of my mouth a lot since being part of the Unbound community. Juicy, and being held in this space of love, while writing, while expressing, while sharing, while procrastinating. Yeah, and all that's happened in the journey. I signed up, I bought myself the mastermind as a gift for my 40th birthday, and yeah, just everything that's happened since that point. I'm now 43. It's just been a miracle. The people I've met, the lunches that we've had, obviously the calls, the publishing of the book, the support, you know, being able to be myself, and also them knowing that I am even more than the person that I show up every day, just knowing that we can always encourage each other to be so much more, and to be okay with who we are, and getting messy. Woo, yeah, let's get messy with that one, shall we? And yeah, just being more authentic, being more me. You know, this is part of this community. It is more than a community. Wow, it is unbound, and it's boundless. I also want to say the other things that have been really amazing are being part of the live events as well. So I thank you for that Unbound community, and of course Nicola Humber. Next 5 years, I hope to continue this unfurling, to keep connecting with the unbound aspect of myself. This is a year of miracles for me. I'm getting way more in depth, going more internal, and being more devoted to what my art of expression is. I am saying I am a singer now with so much confidence. I am a creator. I am a communicator. There's a rap there somewhere. I'm also, and this is, I haven't shared this, but I'm also taking Cosmic Songbird on a new journey as a DJ. And creating some incredible playlists. I'm practicing at the moment, and so I hope that Cosmic Songbird will spread her wings and be on stage, ecstatic dances, and parties and events. And I also know that I am going to be singing, and I hope also for the rising of all beings that are ready to express their voices and be seen, be heard. And I could talk a lot more about that and my journey on that. So yeah, lots of love to you all, and to the Unbound Press for being.
Hello, everybody at Unbound Press. My name is Patricia Langton, and I am the author of Stones in My Bones, published by the Unbound Press in May of this year, May 2023. I just want to say huge congratulations to you all on this 5th anniversary. 5 years, wow. For me personally, I found out the information I needed to write my book about 5 years ago. So it's been all of those years researching and looking and writing and eventually publishing. So really, the transformation for me has been from, I suppose, not being an author to being an author has been a real journey, and a really, really lovely journey too. So for me, the most powerful thing I've been involved with the Unbound community is the mastermind. And I know it's approaching the end of its lifetime, for 5 years, but I'm so glad I was part of that because it gave me a community of female writers on the same journey in our own unique ways, different, but yet very similar. The sharing of the powerful pieces, the opening of heart spaces, the holding by Nicola was just so very, very special. So the writing of the book absolutely was beautiful, but I thought being held in that very safe and wonderful space of community through the mastermind was, for me, one of the most powerful things. My hope for the next 5 years would be that, yes, I think I will write another book, possibly. I just want a little sort of a lull, which I sort of didn't really want initially, but now I feel, yes, it's lovely not to just jump in to the next idea that comes to you. So my hope is that my book, I suppose, or some of the messages in my book will spread out into the community that I live in, and the stories, the ancient stories that are part of it, that were connected with my book, will be known by members of the community, particularly younger people, so that the stories will continue on and on and on long after I do, really, to be honest. And also to sort of share the wisdom with other women in a circle. I've sort of done that in the past, stopped it when I was writing, and I would really love to do that again. They're my two things: spread the word of the book and spread the wisdom with the women. So thank you for listening, and again, much, much, much love to you all at Unbound.
Hi, I'm Rachel B. I'm the author of Unbound Press poetry collection, A Source More Thick and On-Standing, a collection of poetry spanning 20 years, some cases a little bit more, but most of the 20 years. That's been a long time in the making, and working with the Unbound Press and has been an honour, especially being able to release this year to coincide with the celebrations for the 5th birthday anniversary, whatever we call it, celebration. Yeah, it's been a real honour, and it's been wonderful to be held by the Unbound team, to be lightly held and lightly and lovingly held, I would say, on this creative journey. So it's a collection, as I've said, it's been a long time in the making, and actually it wasn't the first thing that I contacted Nicola about. I contacted her about my next book, which I think will have a bit of a longer gestation period just because of what it is. But yeah, this one just came about as a bit of a side note, and in that it kind of helped me, it helped me on my journey to really appreciating my worth creatively. So that's been great. And also the not having that pressure of this must be done by this deadline and that must be done by that deadline. And while I do like a deadline because it holds me accountable, situations have meant I've had to flex, and it's just lovely to have been able to do that. You know, to just say, oh, I don't know if I can make this day, and then have the team say, okay, we'll move it, what works. And for the book to be birthed as and when she was ready. So yeah, that's been great. So yeah, I think that's actually one of the biggest transformations of the past 5 years for me, even though I've only been with Unbound Press for maybe a year now. But yeah, kind of finding my groove, going from a place where I was kind of feeling like I was unraveling because of various things, personal things, divorce, becoming a single mom, writing the book, other stuff. I think being with the Unbound Press has helped me to reframe that unraveling as an unbinding, becoming unbound, so less bound by expectations of different people, society in general, my own expectations. That's the biggest one. So yeah, there's been an unbinding, a letting go, and I'm looking forward to continuing my work with the Unbound Press, at least for a few more years to come. Happy birthday, happy anniversary. I'm so happy to be part of the Unbound family.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sonraya Grace, and I've been a member of the Unbound Press community mastermind for a couple of years. My biggest transformation has been the publishing and birthing of my book that is Mother Earth is Calling You, Winter Wisdom, which I birthed within the beautiful community of Unbound Press, December the 12th, 2022. So for me, becoming a published author has really allowed me to become much more confident in who I am and the voice that I share out in the world. It's allowed me to become more visible. It's allowed me to receive invitations for talks and presentations and book signings. So I'm really excited about that. And the most important thing is knowing the readers, the feedback I get from them, and how they are touched and inspired to continue their path of self-development. So yeah, that feels an ongoing evolution as myself as a writer, as a leader in the voice of the world, sharing my wisdom about the divine feminine and coming into unity and balance within and without. And the most powerful thing about being part of Unbound Press community is this a real sense of holding and this safe container to just show up as you are, even if you don't, your writing isn't flowing. There's a real sense of just acceptance, love and acceptance, and also feeling really inspired by all the other women, amazing women in this community, and how that allows us to really celebrate each other and encourage each other and bounce ideas off each other. So that's the amazing thing about Unbound Press and all that Nicola and the team provide to make sure it all runs smoothly. So what is my hope for the next 5 years? Well, this Winter Wisdom was my first book. So I have another one waiting in the wings that will be about the journey from maiden to mother and our feminine sensuality, sexuality. So I have written quite a bit of that already. So that will be, hopefully next year will be a time to really pull it together and birth it. But who knows? Each book has its own spirit and own essence and way of emerging and birthing. So definitely more books to write and get out there, and also sharing my voice in talks and podcasts and hopefully guest speakers as well on other people's podcasts. So that's my dream, sharing the wisdom, inspiring others to be the leader of their own journey is what really inspires me, and creating more peace and unity in the world. Thanks for listening.
Hello, it's Tara Jackson, and I'm the author of Embodied, Embodied Business, Embodied Creation, and Embodied Wealth. I also wrote and illustrated the Embodied Wisdom Oracle deck, and they're all with the Unbound Press. So the biggest thing that I've experienced over these past 5 years being a part of this community is a real kind of inner healing and letting go, as each book and the deck have supported me to share more of my journey and just really connect to what I'm here to bring through in my writing and also my work. And on that note, I completely transformed my business from a health coaching practice after writing my first book, Embodied, back in 2019, to become what it is today, which is more about supporting people with business blocks and alignment and creation. So each book has really supported me to align more and more with the work that I do today. I absolutely love the community in the Unbound Press. It's such a support to have this space that feels really held and safe, and where there are like-minded, like-hearted soul people. And when you know that there are other people out there like you, you can just really trust yourself the way you are in the world, how you experience the world, how you show up, how you share, how you write. And Nicola really embodies this too. So it's no surprise that this is what the community is like. And I'd like the next 5 years just to be more of this, more sharing from my truth, my heart, my soul, my body, and just really allowing whatever wants to come. And of course, always enjoying the journey.
Hi, it's Terry Hofstetter, author of the upcoming Unbound book, Stepping Stones on the Soul's Journey. My biggest transformation was in March 2020, just a week into lockdown. My husband drove me to the emergency room with abdominal pain, and I ended up in emergency gallbladder surgery just a couple hours later. Coming out of anesthesia after the 2-hour surgery, I felt the sensation I was coming back from something. I felt the presence of the Council of Light, whom I've seen in meditations and felt their presence before, but I had the feeling I had actually been with them, that I was connected during my surgery. And I woke up in my groggy state. I just heard the message, continue doing what you came here to do. Go forth and do great things, something like that. And I wasn't sure what that all was. I'm asking, what? And there was no answer, of course. I felt their presence for the entire few days in the hospital. And it occurred to me that I was to write a book, which I tossed around for the last few years, and more seriously, a couple of years before then. And since then, I've been much more connected. And yeah, it's totally the biggest transformation of my life. I seriously started writing a year later, and shortly afterwards, I was keeping my eyes open for a publisher. And yeah, the answer comes when we're ready. So I heard about the Unbound Press, and I contacted them immediately online. And within a week, I had an interview with Nicola. And I'm continuing to transform in my writing process. It's been just an amazing journey. The warm, supportive network of women in the Unbound and the safe space has helped me share my writing. I've continuing to move forward. I feel comfortable in sharing my writing, gaining more confidence with the group. I feel held and nurtured and empowered. Yeah, in the next 5 years, I hope to have my third book by then, or at least be working on it. I'm hoping to have my first book out first part of next year, and it's just been an amazing time being part of the Unbound family. It's beautiful. I've been growing, and they're supporting me and helping me in my growing process and keeping myself together as things go forward. I look forward to seeing the Unbound Press grow and more women getting in and able to start writing and publishing their books as well.
I am Trudy Reamer, and my book that I wrote was A Venture After a Journey in Search of Me. It is my memoir where I talk about the journey that I went on in going through my own grief of losing my family and then learning to love myself and not see my life as being all alone. The biggest transformation that I've experienced over the past 5 years, besides getting married, was actually writing my memoir. It was something that was on my heart for years. And when my mom passed away, it was the time for me to actually start to figure out how I was going to write this book. And so in the last 5 years, just starting the whole process of finding Unbound and finding this community was just amazing. And being able to go through the journey, while it was definitely the hardest thing I've ever done, it brought me the greatest healing ever. Not only was I able to really be able to write something that was on my heart, but I was able to go back and see things from a childlike view and be able to see it as an adult. And there was so much healing in that process. The most powerful thing about being a part of the Unbound Press community is the fabulous women in this community. It is unbelievable that as I was writing this, to be amongst such awesome women that were able to uplift one another and really be able to share our stories and be a part of that community. It was absolutely priceless. In the next 5 years, I look forward to writing another book, and to be able to really be able to give more towards what I help my clients with and be able to put that out into the world as well.
My name is Victoria Smizik, and I'm the author of Falling Awake, A Heroine's Journey, which is a memoir. And what has been the biggest transformation for me over the past 5 years? Wow, where to begin? So much. Exactly 5 years ago, which I now realise coincides with the launching of Unbound Press, I sold my house and really changed my lifestyle. I subsequently sold most of my belongings and did a lot of traveling again, went on a lot of retreats, did a lot of personal development. I trained to become a choir teacher, which really changed my life. I became nomadic. I've bought a van. I've experienced quite a lot of van life in the past few years. I've been living on the land as opposed to living in a house, and I feel like I'm slowly but surely extracting myself, exiting myself from the system. It's, 2020, what can I say? A big transformational experience for me in terms of awakening and, seeing the world that I lived in very differently. So, the last 5 years has been huge for me, really, really huge in so many ways. I mean, my life has changed. Every aspect of my life has changed. And in so many ways, I have changed from the person that I was 5 years ago. What has been the most powerful thing about being part of the Unbound Press community? Wow. And even as I'm saying that, I'm smiling. I think really it's been the permission to be unbound, and not only the permission to be unbound, but to celebrate being unbound. And so when I connected with Unbound and connected with Nicola and made the decision that was going to be the channel through which I published my book, I just knew it resonated so much, everything about it, the whole ethos about it, the whole getting away from the traditional kind of patriarchic model of publishing, and really and I guess the collective energy then that I've experienced through being part of the community, the collective energy of being, celebrating being unbound and knowing that too much is not enough. And then my hope for the next 5 years, I absolutely know that I am just at a turning point in my life. I'm at a choice point in my life, and I feel that I am at the end of a 5-year cycle. So this whole 5-year thing feels very, very significant for me right now. But I feel that not only am I at a personal choice point in my life, but I feel that we are at a collective choice point globally, and we're at a turning point. And I think it doesn't take me to point out that the evidence for that is all around us with everything that's going on in the world. And so my hope for the next 5 years is that we collectively work through all of the chaos and the suffering and the madness that is going on, and that we come through the other side of that into a place which is about coming back into connection with nature, with ourselves, with each other, with some kind of divine source connection, the universe, spirit, God, whatever word you want to use there. And for me, I'm at a turning point. I'm about to go off traveling again. I'm about to go to Peru, which feels like a very significant and very symbolic trip for me, to further continue with my studies into the indigenous traditions of the country, And part of my intention while I'm there as well is to finish writing my second book. So my hope in the next 5 years is that I will have another book out in the world, and that, the world will be a more beautiful place to live in. Okay, thank you very much. And thank you to Unbound Press, and happy birthday to you.
Okay, Yolandi Bosov, and my book is The Starseed Sacred Circle. Right, so what's been the biggest transformation you've experienced over the past 5 years? Oh, the last 5 years have just been absolute magic. And I feel like this huge shift has happened within me, where during this time I moved from my home in South Africa to the UK, and just being here in the energy of the land and realizing my deep connection to the Great Mother, to the energies of this land, to the Divine Feminine, and to all of that. It just feels like the last 5 years has been the biggest rising of my consciousness that I could ever have asked for. And it's just reconnecting with my roots here in the UK, and also discovering all these beautiful people and connections in this land has really changed me forever, and I am super grateful. So the most powerful thing about being part of the Unbound Press community is that the beautiful souls in that community has played a huge role in me basically discovering this part of myself. And, this community is absolutely incredible. And the people that I have met through this community has just woven themselves into my heart and into my life in the most incredible way. And the beauty that they carry within them, the compassion, the love, and just the awesomeness of all of them, have just changed everything for me. So I can't even begin to explain my gratitude for the community and for what you guys have done. And thank you so much for just how you weave your magic through our lives. So I am grateful for this community, for being part of this massive change that I experienced in this country. And thank you, Nicola, for just being the mastermind behind this awesome community. So grateful for that. And so my hope for the next 5 years is that the energy that this community carries, that it expands into beautiful new places, and that it gently creeps its way across the entire globe. Because this community, these people, the writers, just like everyone who is involved in the projects, the creatives, the sharers, the PR people, all the magic marketing people, like everyone, they are part of this thing. And like everything that they bring, I just hope that this will expand and that more people can get involved and more people can feel the magic being part of this community. So for me, when I think about it, it feels like it's like a network that is busy spreading its beautiful little tentacles. And hopefully people who touch it will have their lives changed, like I've had mine changed through reading just the books and connecting with the people and being able to write in this space. And so again, my hope for for this time is that your network grows and that everyone gets to experience the love that underpins everything that you guys bring into the world. So thank you so much. I'm forever grateful for this community and for everything that you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
What do you do when you want to write a book, but the usual approaches are leaving you feeling restricted, pressurized, not at all enough, and pretty dry, to be honest? You find another way, of course. And if you are listening to this, my free unconventional book writing guide is going to be perfect for you. It's designed especially for soul-led coaches, healers, and mentors who want to write a transformational book without spending hours on end chained to a desk. In it, I'm giving you my unique spin on the top 10 questions I hear from would-be authors, and it's going to help you liberate the way you write forever. Download your free copy of the guide now over at nicolahumber.com/10, the number 10, 10 hyphen questions.